Beep beep. What is up, ninjas? My name is Semworld, and I hope that you guys had a good Labor Day weekend if you live in the States. I personally decided to spend it out in nature, 4x4 camping with my kids and my wife, and I hope that you guys spent it in a good way as well. Now, I decided to take that trip, guys, because this month we are going to be diving more into the Anjuna Deep, the more Sirius XM chill vibe, which I'm a huge fan of. So we have been working on the sound set for that will be coming out later this month. But today I will be teaching you guys how to make brass shots in the style of Yotto and Enamour, who are big artists in this selective style. Now, we will be doing this inside of Serum. However, all these techniques can apply to other synths like Silent and Diva, which is a synth that Enamour has been known to use. If you watched his Sonic Academy tutorial that he has up on there, which I have, so if I show a little bit of the techniques he has, that's where I got him from, guys. But when it comes to the sound design of this sound, he didn't show it, so we're gonna dive into it to demystify it a bit so that you guys can go ahead and make those brass shots like Anjuna Deep Pro. As always, guys, if you want to support my channel, you can head over to evilsounds.com. This sound set I was talking about will be coming out, and it's called Exploration. It's going to dive into the genre of Anjuna Deep. I'm not calling it that because I am getting inspired by other stuff as well, but it's going to be called Exploration, and it's going to be a heavily inspired chill sound set to make this style of music that resembles nature a lot, which, as you can tell, I'm Patagonia'd out, and I like a lot. With that being said, let's get straight into this tutorial. Alright, guys, and welcome inside of Ableton, inside of Serum. Now, here I have this MIDI that I've set up for us, which is going to be fairly short. Now, please keep in mind that this is very important, that the length of the MIDI is going to decide the way you're going to program your brass shot, okay? The reason I say that is that if we have short MIDI, like so, and we have a high sustain, it's not going to get that effect. If we have a low decay, it doesn't get that effect unless we add some relief. And now that's going to give us that nice reducement in volume, sort of like someone is slowly turning down the gain, which you can hear a lot in the Enamour Runaway and personal Yotto track. However, let's assume that you decide to go for a longer one, then, and we don't want to overlap that here, then you don't need release. All you really need is your decay and no sustain. That way, decay is going to control how long it takes for us to go from 100% volume, 100 amplitude, down to 0. The last thing to note with the envelope before we move on and start designing the sound is the fact that if I decide to go for shorter ones, there is something that I get in return in using the release. Okay, and that is going to be that when notes overlap, you're going to get this sort of bell lushy vibe to it if you don't have the mono legato turned on in the sound. Keep in mind that if you're playing super low and you have these overlapping, they might just sound really bad. But when you're up in higher areas, then it will sound good. It just depends on whether you're going to decide to reduce low end on this or you're going to decide to leave it. From here, we're going to go with the shorter one to get that nice release sound. I personally like it. And we're going to mono legato this, as we don't want things overlapping, as a lot of the brass shots are going to be more of a top layer to the bass line you're already going to have. So here we're going to go down to -3. And this one as well. So what I'm going to do is just have that long release, short decay maybe. It's all in that programming. Okay. Now from here, it's time to detune manually. And I always tell people, if you want to get an analog vibe in your track, treat Serum like it's an analog synth. So in analog synths like the Korg MS-20 or the Moog Sub 37 or even any Moog, we don't have a unison option unless you're running a Prophet. So a lot of the times we have to detune manually each oscillator, so that's where this comes into play. You're going to get that response. Now it sounds dirty for sure, and what's happening is essentially when we're removing the fine, we're detuning manually. But in essence what's happening is the saws are playing at different speeds, so now you get to hear both saws sort of playing on top of each other, and you can hear a bit of movement. You can hear that movement. That is going to be something you need for the sound. So that's what you're controlling with the fine. You can definitely go crazy. But if you don't want crazy, you just want to go for something simple and you're not making techno like Aces, and we can lower it down. From there, we can choose to put a filter or not. I'll leave it up to you guys. And with the filter, you're just going to do the same. You're going to open it up. Now it's going to be a bit different, as you can see. So we need to go with another filter. We can hold Alt and drag here. But now this one could take longer to just come down because we don't want the filter covering all the frequency. Okay, from there, it's time to distort. We're going to get rid of some low end. From here, it's all about just experimenting. If we're going for that flat mono response that Yotto has, pretty much here we can definitely go with a plate, and this guy is going to be the width. I don't know why Serum doesn't turn it into a verb width here. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't when we switch between them, but this is your width, so you can definitely have a mono reverb as well. Okay, another thing to do, and this is something that I personally do myself, is put the reverb behind distortion, and this is going to create more of a nastier sound if we get this in distort heavy. It adds a bit of a texture and also makes this sound a little bit more stereo when in actuality it's mono. It's just the reverb is getting harmonized now by the distortion. So there's various techniques you can do, and from here, once you know how to program it, it's up to you to decide how you want to approach this. Maybe adding a bit of chorus to sterilize it and high. You start to get different results, and that is the key to this. You know, once you know how to program it, experiment a bit with different effects, vice versa. Now the Enamour Runaway one is also a wide one. It's not mono like the Yotto one, so now we can definitely hit with some unison. So we can definitely. Now, as you can see, the bandpass is doing a lot. Now, it's only getting oscillator B. And it's being run through a heavy distortion. Now, we can get a saw that's more clean, that's not running through it, and get the same brass vibe, but now we get that extra added uniqueness that Runaway has. Now, it's not exactly the same, but I have a feeling this is what he actually did. He probably used like a formant or another sound layered with it, but this is as close as we can get to kind of emulating. We're going to get rid of more low end. And you get different brass steps. The idea is that you need to learn how to do the basics first, which is just set yourself up to create that nice detuned vibe. And then from there, it's just literally experimenting, learning how to use the tools you have at your disposal to just get that vibe that you want. And with that, that is going to be the end of the tutorial, guys. If you guys are looking for these style of sounds, make sure to check out Explorations. It will be coming out by the end of this month, hopefully, in the style of Anjuna Deep. That's why I called it that, but it's not Anjuna Deep because there are different style of sounds in there that you can utilize to make it. But it's going to be more of a chill-based pack that I hope you guys enjoy. It can make good chill music with. With that being said, you guys take care. And if you want to support my channel, as always, evilsounds.com. I'll catch you guys next time for another video. Peace out.